I think in the direct sales industry, we miss this big picture perspective so often because we're chasing the next carrot or hitting the next incentive or working to hit that monthly sales goal. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we also need to take an elevated, big picture view of our business, right? Hey everyone, Becky Lander here. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy you're here. I am absolutely loving our new video format of the podcast. If you're listening on audio today, I might encourage you to also take a peek over at YouTube where we have a video version of the podcast for you to check out as well. I know sometimes we're listening on the go and we can't always watch on YouTube, but it is there for you. It's a great asset that you're able to easily share with others, including your team and your biz besties. So don't be afraid to do that. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, feel free to tag us on social. If you've been listening to the podcast, I absolutely love hearing from you, hearing your takeaways. That absolutely just makes my day complete. So with that said, today we're talking about balancing quick wins in your direct sales business and long-term success in direct sales. So this is, I think, a very timely topic for many direct sellers. Here we are. If you're listening in real time, it's at the very end of July. So congratulations, you've made it through the 3J months in 2024, January, June, and July. And for many, business might feel a little bit slower than it has in years past. And we have a number of reasons why things are changing within our industry as a whole, which could be a whole nother podcast. We'll save that one. But I thought today it would be helpful to talk about the difference between focusing on short-term sales and immediate wins in your business, and also having a long-term perspective to really think about where you're going as a business owner, right? So a couple of the differences just off the top of my head, right? When we're thinking about short-term sales, we're focused on the sales we need to hit this month, right? Here we are at the end of the month, and I'm sure a couple of you are like $200 away, or I have a little bit further to go, or my organization needs to hit this volume, right? So those are more short-term focus. What do I immediately need to do right here and now to impact my paycheck this week or this month? So that's typical. We need to balance that, right? Like we need to be doing vendor events. We need to be doing flash sales. We need to be doing live sales. We need to be following up with our customers. We need to be doing all of those things that give us a more immediate return on investment or an immediate uptick in our business. That's absolutely important. And when you're thinking about building a long-term business, right? If you're not here just to make a couple $100 this month and then you're going to move on to something else next month, we have to think about our business in a bigger picture, in a long-term perspective. I think in the direct sales industry, we miss this big picture perspective so often because we're chasing the next carrot or hitting the next incentive or working to hit that monthly sales goal. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we also need to take an elevated, big picture view of our business, right? We can't just be focused on what we need to do today or what we need to do this week. We need to elevate our view. We need to look more long-term, and we need to think about strategies that are going to work for us down the road. So those sales that you're making here at the end of the month, that's great. That's going to increase your paycheck. That's amazing. Congratulations. And working with thousands of direct sellers across the industry, my goal is for you to have a long-term sustainable business that is working for you. So what that might look like is setting up systems, setting up processes, setting up automations, setting up tools to help your business run more efficiently. So even if you don't have time to do those short-term sales goals here at the end of the month, but 2 years from now, you'll build out an email list with thousands of people on it. You can send an email and those orders just start flying in. Now, running a business is never truly passive. I don't want to sugarcoat that. Sometimes we say, like, we're here for a passive direct sales business. Passive sales is nice, but let's just be real. You're still going to be putting work into that business. You're still going to be growing your audience. You're still going to be growing your customer base. You're still going to be loving on your customers, but you're going to have an audience built and tools and systems in place that make it a lot easier to get those sales. So you don't have to be reactive and kind of on this hamster wheel every month of reaching those goals, but you can leverage what you've built to make those sales a whole lot easier with repeat customers, with systems to draw in new leads for your business. But here's the thing. When you set up those systems, they don't start working overnight. I wish they did, right? It takes a little bit of time to build out a system, to test it, to refine it, and to get it working for you. So often we get stuck in the day-to-day of our business, right? We get stuck on hitting that month-end goal because that's what's immediately in front of us, and we don't elevate and take a bigger picture view of our business. In fact, over in our Modern Direct Seller Academy, we do a quarterly retreat for exactly this purpose. Every quarter, we get together and we spend 3 full hours together. I know that sounds like a lot of time. 3 hours together on Zoom. And we think about where we want to go as a business owner, what projects are going to take our business to the next level, what we need to be doing on a day-to-day basis so we are not just stuck in the mundane day-to-day work, and we're actually building out systems that are going to work for us over the long haul. We do that with a 90-day plan, and we identify exactly what we're going to be working on each and every week to set up some of those bigger picture, long-term focused solutions that are going to carry our business and our personal brand forward, no matter what direction we go in the direct sales world. So if you can't tell, I'm a little heated about this. I'm a little excited and passionate about this because this is honestly how I built my own business. And a little bit of a teaser, Jeremy's coming on the podcast with me next week, and we're going to share a little bit of our origin story and how things started for us. And yes, we were in the direct sales industry and we built up an audience. We leveraged digital marketing. We built an email list. We built a text list. We had a website. We had a blog. We started building out these systems to grow our audience on maybe a little bit of autopilot and be able to serve on a much bigger basis. So a quote that I absolutely love and I come back to so often in my life is to stop playing small and think about how many more people I could serve if I started playing a little bit bigger, right? If I stepped out of my comfort zone, if I did some things that maybe I've never done before. So if you're listening to this episode right now thinking, okay, I've heard about digital marketing. I've heard about an email list. I've heard about text marketing. I've heard about Becky talk about Oh My High and websites and blogging, but I have no idea where to start. You're in the right place because over the next couple months, we are taking you on a journey into the digital marketing space. We know how important this is for a long-term, sustainable direct sales business. And we know that we want to take you with us. So I'm really excited for what's to come. But today, now that we talked a little bit about those short-term wins, right? The things that you can do to make sales today, right? You're making sales at vendor events. You're doing pop-up events. You're doing fundraisers. You're in the DMs. You're sending messages. You're asking for a sale. And those are all amazing short-term quick wins to grow your business. So let's spend a little bit more time, if you can stick with me today, talking about what you need to do to have long-term success in direct sales. You ready for this? All right, let's dive right in. So the first one is having a website or a blog. So I think of this as really owning your content. We all know that when we're on social media, we're playing with somebody else's turf, right? We're showing up on Instagram, we're showing up on Facebook, TikTok, wherever you might be, but ultimately you don't own that platform. At any moment, they could change it, your account could be deactivated, things could happen over on social media. You don't own that. But what you do own is a website or a blog, right? You can use your own domain name. You can create your own content. And the thing that I love about having a website or a blog is, believe it or not, your content grows in visibility over time, right? So it's an upward trajectory. You create a blog post today, that blog post is still going to be serving you 2 years from now. Social media content goes the other direction. You create a reel, and in 48 hours, nobody's going to look at that reel again. right? It's a little sad when you think about it. So, websites, blogs, the content you create, you own it and it grows in visibility over time. Now, if I go write a blog post today, is that going to be an immediate ROI? Am I going to get a return? Is somebody going to go buy my product as a result of that blog post? Probably not. Let's just be real, right? But over time, that content gains some traction. People start seeing it. We're going to link back to our products. And eventually, one day, you're going to be like, wow, I got an order from somebody I don't know who came to me through my blog. How good does that feel? So, website and blog is a great place to play. I love thinking of that as your central hub for your content. That's where you're sharing about yourself. That's where you're sharing about your brand that you're building. That's where you're sharing about the products that you love. And it's a great place to send leads to learn more about you. And so they can join your email list, they can opt into your text, they can get to know you as a personal brand. As much as I love our direct sales companies, your replicated website is a reflection of their brand. It's not a reflection of your personal brand. It's giving them the tools to purchase. Maybe you have a spot where you can customize it with your photo or your phone number or add a little blurb about yourself. But ultimately, people are not going to find your replicated website from your company. That's not going to show up in search results. People aren't going to get to know what your favorite product is or your story about why you started or what you love about the brand, right? You can do that through a blog or a website. And here's the real deal. You're probably already creating content that could live on that blog or website, but you're posting it on social and 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, it's gone. Peace out, gone, right? So a website or a blog is a great place to establish your brand presence, establish your authority. It also elevates your presence. It creates professionalism in what you're doing and lets people know that you're like actually here to stay. You're not just jumping into a company and jumping out of a company. This is a place for you to truly shine. It also gives you an opportunity to be seen, right? When somebody is Googling and searching for a direct sales representative in your area, there's a chance you might show up. If they're searching for a product review, there's a chance they might find your blog post. So you get the idea here. This is a great way to grow your visibility and really put a stake in the ground and let your customers know this is where they go to find you and everything related to your personal brand and your business that you're building. And of course, we're going to link out to your replicated website for people to actually shop. Okay, number 2 is email marketing. Now, if you're on my email list, you know I love me some email marketing. Email marketing has been huge for our business. We have, 20,000, 25,000 subscribers on our email list, and we can send an email at this stage in our business and see an immediate ROI. Now, when you're starting out with an email list, and this was us for a very long time, we didn't see that quick turnaround, that ROI, right? We wrote emails and we stayed in front of our customers and we showed up in their inbox, in addition to social media and other places. But it was another touch point for us to connect with our customers. The other thing I love about email marketing is that you have an opportunity to invite your customers to opt in or say yes to your email list. You can do that over on your website and you own that contact information. So again, stepping away from being completely reliant on social media, knowing that at any point, social could get turned off and you could lose contacts that you have made through social. So having an email address allows you to have a direct communication, drop right into their inbox, and share more about what you love about the products that you're selling. So people want to hear that. They're going to get your corporate emails as well. And those are lovely. They're going to be highly produced and beautiful graphics, but they really want to hear in your own words why you love what you're doing, why you love the products that you love, and what recommendations you have for them, as well as where you're hanging out, where you're going to be at your next pop-up, and so they can connect with you personally. All right, number 3, long-term success. I do have to go back to social media. So we know that consistency on social media builds an audience. Ultimately, if you have a website, if you have an email list, that's great, but we still have to have an audience and a way to drive traffic to those places. So doing that through social media is super important, and being consistent on social media is important. So I am a big fan of ScentShare that keeps me consistent. If it wasn't for ScentShare, I would not be consistently showing up on social media. But I can plan my posts, I can schedule my posts, I can repurpose my posts, I can leverage the best performing content in my business and use it again and again and again and have it all stored in one place. So if you have not invested in a social media scheduling tool and using that as the hub of all of your social content, I highly recommend that, because what pays off over the long haul on social media is consistency. It's not that one post that you make on the last day of the month. It's the consistency of showing up on a daily basis in front of your ideal client as you're building your audience. All right, number 4 is SEO, or search engine optimization. So again, this goes back to a website or a blog and using keywords that people are searching for so they find you first. That is the key there, right? Is that people can find you, they can connect with you, they can binge your content that you're creating and fall in love with you and order from you. How good does that sound, right? So SEO goes hand in hand with email. SEO is not one of those things that you just build overnight. It's one of those things that with consistent posting and long form content and blog posts that you're going to build up those search terms and show up higher in search results. And this is definitely the long game. I can tell you in our business, this is something we still work on the regular. And we're so proud that at this point, we show up on the first page of Google when people are looking for direct sales training, right? That's pretty darn exciting. But that did not happen on day one. That was a long-term strategy that built over time. Now, number 5, when it comes to long-term, I got to say it's personal development. It's going to conference. It's going to training. It's listening to podcasts. Of course, you might take one of these ideas and implement it tomorrow and see a direct result in your business. But ultimately, it's that mentality of getting 1% better every single day. How do we just get 1% better? How can we listen to something today that we're going to learn, absorb, apply to our business so we just get a tiny bit better? Because you know what? That adds up exponentially over time. So that would be my challenge to you, is to think about your training, your development, your conference attendance, all of those things as being part of the long-term investment and ROI that you're getting in your business. I promise you, it pays off. And I'm not just saying that as a trainer and a coach. I really do believe that over time, you start to see some super huge results in your business. Sometimes we just have to hear things a few times and we have to invest in ourselves to get to where we want to be going. So with that said, I will wrap things up for today, my most fabulous direct sellers. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. There's definitely a blend between short-term sales strategies, immediate ROI, and that long-term vision of where you're going as a business owner. So if you're at that tipping point in your business where you're thinking, gosh, I've been playing too reactive, I've been playing too small, I've been following whatever the next carrot or incentive is and just focusing on my monthly sales, I want to challenge you to think bigger picture. Your business is worth it. You are capable of it. I would love to support you on that journey. And as you might be shifting from a more traditional direct sales model into a digital marketing space, come hang out with us, because we are taking you on that journey with us. I'm showing you the ins and outs of how we built the modern direct seller business. Fun fact, before that, it was my consultant training. Before that, we had a couple other iterations as well. So we're going to reveal all of that on next week's episode of the podcast as Jeremy joins me and we share a little behind the scenes of how we got started, what our business strategy has been, how it has evolved to where we are today, and how we're supporting direct sellers as they're making that switch over to digital marketing and taking a bit more long-term approach to building their personal brand, finding their audience, and building their direct sales business. So I'm super excited for it. I'm here for it. I can't wait to be back with you here next week. So until then, I hope you get out there and make it a great day. Take care, my friends. Bye. We are proud to welcome CinchShare as the newest sponsor of the Modern Direct Seller podcast. CinchShare is the #1 most trusted social media platform for network marketers, direct sellers, affiliates, independent consultants, virtual assistants, small businesses, and creators in any industry. Start your 30-day trial today with coupon code GAMECHANGER and spend less time posting and more time socializing.